do we get the things that we want rapidly? Some people could talk about how we get the things that we want, but it takes time and it takes this grind and you have to develop yourself and all these pieces, which I think is developing yourself is true, but it doesn't take a long time to get the things that you want. Whether the things that you want is feeling better or whether the things that you want are things on the outside world, like a car or a house or plenty of money or an amazing relationship or whatever it is. So let me share with you some principles around how you can change your life rapidly. And again, the internal and the external life and how to make it happen. So I'll start by sharing a little bit of my story. So years ago, I saw people in my world having things that I wanted and I judged them for it. Like they had plenty of money. They had really nice vehicles. At that time, I wanted like a van or a nice big truck to live out of that I could like travel around the US and have tons of money and just rock climb and live out of my amazing rig. I was broke. I was in a ton of financial debt. And the money that I was earning for the job that I had, which was either working with young people in the wilderness or as a beginning therapist, didn't really give me the kind of financial earnings that I wanted. Now, here's the tricky part for me at that time. I didn't think that I could have those things. Additionally, I saw super happy, joyful people, and I would even say peaceful and content people, and I judged the heck out of them as well. Because I didn't even occur to me that I could live like they did. I didn't even realize that's actually what I wanted. But I was stuck in this cycle of doing the same things and getting the same results. Now, at that time, I was like, for what my standard was for myself, I was pretty content or happy. And it took many years of living that way, failed relationships, lots of different jobs, being generally unsettled in my life and unsettled in myself. The unsettledness in my life was a reflection of how unsettled I was inside of myself. And it finally took awakening to this idea that I could have any kind of life I wanted. And the one that I had was the one I was choosing mostly unconsciously. So the first thing I want to tell you is you can have any kind of life that you want, right? And I am one kind of unique and I would say minor example of that in a way. I created my life in the way that I wanted, but the obstacle I had to navigate for myself, that again was unconscious, was that I couldn't have those things. Like I didn't have to live out of my car. I didn't have to feverishly throw myself at the mountains in order to feel fulfilled. I didn't have to be, and this is not for you probably, but I didn't have to be in a romantic relationship to be fulfilled. Side note, if you could get to the point of feeling fulfilled without needing to be in a romantic relationship, the romantic relationship that you do find will be extraordinary. Check out the video or the content I made regarding how to find the partner of your dreams. And I'll do another one on that because there's just some really cool principles that worked for me at the time that I was in looking for romantic relationships. And essentially it boils down to become the person that you want to find out there. Right? Our external world is a mirror of our internal world. That's one of the principles. So getting back on how to change rapidly, internally or externally. Here are the two principles. One, have a lifestyle that creates the potential to feel better, and then have a mindset that creates the potential for the lifestyle. Lifestyle and mindset, and they're a cycle, right? So even if you're not feeling the best, create a lifestyle and dedicate yourself to it that gives you the potential to feel better. Because when we feel better, it is easier to create a certain mindset that gives great results, right? So for example, like I have, I was going to say piled on, but not piled on. I've layered on different aspects of my life that have really worked for me, right? I have a certain nutritional regimen that's mostly whole foods, vegetables, and fruits. And if you try this for like 30 days, there's a thing called the whole food diet, I think that people do as an example. And you'll feel amazing if you just eat whole foods and fruits and vegetables. And some people I know have eaten like fruits for like 2 weeks and they feel fantastic because it does a whole purging and cleansing in their body, and they get used to it. They're not hungry anymore. So there's a lot that you can just do. I'm just talking about nutritionally, right? But lifestyle also includes what you do with your time, right? What do you do before work, at work, during work, after work, on the weekends, right? And creating a lifestyle that you know has you feel better. And it's the potential to feel better. So create the lifestyle that has the potential for you to feel better. Then when you feel better, that'll create a certain mindset. You'll get more motivation. I don't love that word, but it works. To create a certain mindset that then has you create more ideas for your lifestyle. Now, here's the thing. This is the interesting part here. Results express a certain mindset. The external is a reflection and an expression of the internal mindset. This great teacher that I followed for a long time, Bob Proctor, who left the body, he died a couple of years ago. When I was getting this role of transformation, this quote that I'll never forget, he said, "Show me your results and I'll tell you how you think." I was like, wow. I didn't believe it at first, but as I looked more deeply, it was absolutely true. And as I shifted how I thought, my results shifted because it also shifted my feelings, right? And you can do the same thing. But what's interesting about results expressing a mindset, the mindset does not have to reflect the results. This is very interesting, right? Because the results can happen and we get to choose the mindset that we want to have about the results. Bad things happen. Okay, it can feel terrible. It can feel awful. It can feel shitty, It can feel bad. So yes, you can feel those feelings. Then there's this pivotal moment in life where we create a perspective and a perception about how we experience in this case, bad news. There are so many ways to context bad news that can create a mindset that ceases to have bad things happen to you. I'm serious. It's totally true. If you start to look at this stuff, you will find many people in the world who teach this, who have done it, and I am one of the people who do it and practice it. I am not an expert. I am not perfect, but I practice it, and I gotta tell you, bad things don't happen to me. It doesn't mean that things that for most people would be pretty terrible would happen. Like people die, I experience pain or suffering in my physical body sometimes. I have very inconvenient, kind of tragic things happen in my professional world. I mean, things happen, but I refuse to let them create a mindset that keeps those things happening, right? Makes sense? So it's not both ways. Results express a mindset, but a mindset does not have to reflect the results. Right? So things happen out here in our world, and how do we create a perspective on how we experience and see those results, right? So what's interesting is that one, and maybe the only benefit of resistance is to resist current results, creating a mindset. Again, this great teacher, Bob Proctor, I heard this story once that his company, I think, lost like $100,000 in some kind of situation that they were navigating with programs and people and personnel and things like that and partnerships. And everyone was trying to find Bob. They're like, "Where's Bob? Where's Bob?" And he was getting fitted for a new suit. Right? He refused to let his results create a certain mindset because he knew that if he created a certain mindset of abundance, that this situation was just going to pass and it would get made up for. And I think it actually did. Like the next program they created made a bunch of money and had a wonderful impact on people, and that was a huge success. And that was a reflection of the mindset that he created as the CEO and the founder of that organization. Right? Great example. So we can create a narrative that it has us experience certain results in our life. Now, what's interesting is that if we have an unhelpful narrative right now, it's probably from our environment and our family of origin. And we've been programmed a certain way that has largely been expressed unconsciously out into our lives. So if we can just become conscious about how we, like in my case, how I judged success or judged results that I actually wanted, that was an expression from my family environment of judgment and limitation and belief systems. If we just look at that for a second, just look at it and then pivot and create, oh my God, the world is your oyster. All my best.